mundo de Walter Harris. Just say Harris. Just put down Harris. Just write Harris.
Carlos,
Harris.
this is the Polly coaster. We just did one this morning. Which one was that? Morning Consult has come up by 6 points. And then Jody, you know what? I might need my Yankee Doodle fart music. So then Jody just handed me this. He's a Republican strategist, isn't he? Mark Halperin warns Kamala Harris is in a lot of trouble. Warned that robust private polling indicates blah, 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 blah. She could lose all 7 swing states. I don't know. All right. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be the longest month of our lives, Carlos Rocky.
It really is, in dealing with everything else that we deal with in our personal lives.
I know.
Business, finances, kids, families, whatever it is. It's against the backdrop of what ultimately will decide the fate of this country. That's not putting it in a false tone. That's really what's happening. And
I've heard it from everywhere, Carlos. People are so stressed out. I mean, it is, the fact that we are on this precipice of just literally losing our democracy. And again, I don't know, I always joke that, I don't listen to the polls unless I see one I like. I mean, I think we're all like that. We're all like, oh, that's good, because we are desperate to feel better. I mean, although I keep saying it, I do want us to be scared because I got my ballot yesterday. I'm voting today. I want people to just put the pedal to the metal till election day, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. If being scared is being motivated, then be scared. If being determined is being motivated, be determined. So just show up and vote. Get your friends to vote. A lot of people are out there registering people, letting them know how to register, what to do. I voted already here locally and obviously nationally and dropped it off. And to be motivated, to ignore the polls, whatever they say.
Right.
And show up and encourage people. And every day, I'm like the person that posts the video from January 6th. Every day, I'm there on Twitter. I donate to certain campaigns and say, hey, this guy's evil. You got to vote against him.
Yep.
Mehdi Hassan, I reposted what Mehdi Hassan had said about Michigan and these other places where they might want to think about not voting for Harris. And Mehdi Hassan, obviously Muslim, says you have to look at the alternative, which is Trump. And very wise words. You have to be, who's ever out there that thinks that they're going to change things just by some miraculous candidate or miraculous vote, that's not going to happen. You have to vote for what's better. And what's better, clearly, while not perfect, is Kamala Harris. And that's the message I get out there.
Yeah,
Don't vote for perfect. Vote to stop the worst thing that could ever happen to this country.
Yeah, you retweeted Mehdi, said it's disingenuous to pretend Harris is running in a vacuum. If you're fine with Trump, okay, but just say so. And I was saying Naveed Jamali yesterday was tweeting about, he said, a vote for Trump is a vote for Netanyahu. But understand that not voting is a vote for Netanyahu too.
Absolutely. It's the chess game they want you to play. They put that piece in front of your queen, and then you just go, I'm going to go this way. And it's like, you idiots, checkmate. Don't let them. Don't help Putin and Netanyahu by not voting or voting third party. That's pretty clear.
Netanyahu urged Lebanese people to overthrow Hezbollah or experience, quote, destruction and suffering like we see in Gaza. One analyst said, remember when Netanyahu said Iraqis would welcome an American invading their country? Now he's saying the Lebanese will welcome Israel invading theirs. I mean, he is just...
He's a monster.
He's a POS, just like Trump. And I hope Lebanon frees themselves from Hezbollah, but I hope Israel frees themselves from Netanyahu. So
because I don't think any of these types of measures or this kind of rhetoric is getting the hostages back. And that's what people
not at all.
want. You want to get the hostages back, so negotiate.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's plenty of people in Israel that are pissed at Netanyahu because they think that he is slow walking getting the hostages back to prolong this war to stay in office. Yeah, thank you.
You know that thing you did with Border Patrol? I helped you over here. That's a bad Israeli accent. I apologize.
That sounded kind of Russian.
I was thinking, because in my head it was Putin, which is the same guy. So,
right.
Vladimir Netanyahu, sorry.
I mean, this Putin stuff, there's just nothing that would shock you anymore. Of course he sent COVID tests and COVID machines to Putin when Americans were dying and couldn't get any. Of course he did. Of course he's talked to Putin 7 times since he's left office. I mean...
Altruistically isn't a bad thing. You want people of the world not to suffer, but not at the expense of sending it probably to Putin's top people. That was never getting distributed down to the Russian people. That's like, this is only for you and your friends at the Kremlin with that giant pointy building with the gold thing on top. Don't let it get outside of there. It's for you and your buddies.
Well, you also retweeted Mehdi Hasan talking about his Jill Stein interview. He said, if we're on the subject of honesty, why is your proxy in this clip admitting you can't win the election, but you refuse to say that to me in our interview? And how does voting for you stop the genocide if you can't win? You still haven't explained it since I asked you on air. I mean, just look at a picture of her sitting next to Putin. Michael Flynn, I keep saying, is the biggest, dumbest movie plot in the world. Of course, Trump is a Russian asset. He has been for years.
Yeah, and I was kissing my phone on the Mehdi Hasan little icon when he posted that, because that's what I've been for years arguing that you can't, Ralph Nader, you can't win. Why are you staying in the race? You're only going to make it worse. Hello, Citizens United. Thank you, Ralph Nader.
I mean,
you
if this
can't
latest
win. Why are you
polling,
staying in the race?
If this, I don't know which one is red wave polling anymore. We've heard about that they're deliberately skewing polls to, favor Trump and Republicans so that, it's the people that predicted the red wave that didn't happen. I don't know which polls are correct, but if it's correct, Jill Stein is exactly what made the difference last time in the 3 swing states. And you tweeted, third-party voters, especially in battleground states, you have the right to vote for whoever you want. You don't have the right to say your vote doesn't have mathematical consequences. Pragmatism is not complicity or shaming, it's strategy.
It is strategy. And yes, I will go ahead and blame the Democrats that didn't vote for Al Gore in Florida and Minnesota, along with the third-party voters that voted for Gore. Those are numbers. So the numbers mattered, especially when you're counting the little things, what are the diphthongs or whatever they call those? I forget.
Chads. They're not diphthongs.
Yeah, the little diphthong Chad things where the Supreme Court lady said, I'm Republican, so Bush wins. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, Bob Sesker retweeted Philip, who said the West Virginia House has introduced a resolution that lays the foundation for the state to officially reject the national presidential election results in case they suspect fraud in a Democratic victory. And Rick Wilson said this is how elections are stolen.
Yep.
I mean, so
and of course,
we also
Glenn
have to
Greenwald
account for
that.
Republican effery, right?
Yep.
That's the other thing. If it's as close as we think it could be, Jill Stein and Republican effery could make the difference, and it's terrifying.
It is terrifying, and it's all for personal gain. People cannot see beyond their own wealth, their own selfishness, and that's the Elon Musks of the world.
Yeah. How many more warnings do we need? You retweeted Daily Edge said more than 700 national security leaders endorsed her and warned about Trump. More than 400 economists endorsed her and warned about Trump. More than 90 major CEO and business leaders from major public companies endorsed her and warned about Trump. First of all, take that, Andrea Mitchell. And secondly, how many more warnings do we need? I mean, and I think the Trump voters, Carlos, it's this rejection of any facts or experts or right? They're just like, oh, they don't know. Only Trump knows, right?
Yeah, because it's only a quest for power. They don't care if he's wrong or right, moral or immoral. They just want to win. And the social media has set up the constructs thusly. You just want to win and feel like you've won or owned somebody. They want to own somebody by electing this guy, but that surely means they're going to vote against their own best interests. Yeah. Climate change is a hoax. I'm sorry you lost your house, but it's beautiful beachfront property for my Putin friends.
Yeah. In this Bob Woodward story, again, I suppose there's a section of the MAGA cult. Nothing matters. They're the ones that wear their shirts like I'd rather be Russian than a Democrat, or I can't even anymore. So Trump and Putin have apparently communicated 7 times since Trump left office. I love this. Jason Miller, who works for Trump's campaign, pushed back on that claim when asked about it, saying, I'm quoting exactly now, not that, not that I'm aware of.
You could do so. You want him.
Of course. Of course. Like, it's so stupid, right?
And then Vance just said that's diplomacy. And my brother's like, no, that's not lawful. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
Oh, he's on record as saying John Kerry should be prosecuted under the Logan Act because he was talking to Iran or whatever. I mean, and that Trump is telling Putin, he told him to invade Ukraine, told him he'll tell Republicans in Congress to vote against Ukraine aid, which he did. Right?
Yep.
Right? I mean, it's okay. He's just such a traitor. We're
Yep.
like full circle back to 2016. He is a complete and total traitor to the United States. And
Yeah, it's incredible how much we've normalized Trump. We just like everything he's done, all the felonies, the sexual assault, the thing, the Stormy Daniels, the January 6th, January 6th.
Traitor, rapist,
Just think about that
insurrectionist.
day. Think about that day if that was Hillary or Obama. There's no way the Democratic Party would have made them their nominee.
Yeah.
The Republicans sent this all in motion. They had a plan. They basically knew that Trump lost. They didn't care. They didn't care that people died. They just said, we're going to fix it. We're all our fake electors. Everybody's going to be appointed on all the election boards. We know we don't have the votes, but we will cheat to win in 2024. They knew it then.
Carlos, I don't know. Again, we can talk all day, I guess, about misogyny and or racism, but this is 2016 turned up to 11 on steroids to the nth power. Because this is not only a woman wildly more qualified than he is now, as we keep saying, a 34-count felon, adjudicated rapist, traitor. I mean, for God's sake. Like
A
what?
loser.
Yeah.
His handling of COVID.
An adjudicated business fraud. I mean, on and on and on. It's
And
just
Bezler, lying about secret documents, horny, teen pageant peeper. It's not even close.
Yeah.
And the problem is you have an expectation, again, that the Democrats have to be perfect on every issue.
Yeah.
While Trump can just ramble and bring up a guy that just jumps down up on stage and lies. Jon Stewart did a great piece on, that's what the First Amendment's all about. The First Amendment gives you, lose it, you have the Second Amendment. It's like, what? Your right to free speech is guaranteed by the fact that you have a gun? What are you, stupid?
Yeah.
That's so dangerous. They are so desperate and gross.
Yeah. Yep.
Straight, white, scared,
Weird.
sociopathic males.
And
They're just
boring.
ruining the country.
Yay. Okay.
Wind them up.
Oh, you know what? You were going Coach Walls there for a minute. Here we go.
Here's my life hack for all of you, all the guys out there, whatever. Here's my life hack. Surround yourself with smart women and listen to them, and you'll do just fine. You'll do just fine. That includes my fellow cat owner, Taylor Swift, too, by the way. It's really great to have all of these women help us beat the smallest man in the world, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Real men are not afraid of strong women.
Right.
Oh. Carlos lives on Vagina Island, and look at him.
I live on
He's
Vagina
a-
Island. I live with 3 smart women. Granted, they're all crazy, but they're very, very smart. Did I say that out loud?
Maybe
that
it's
was
you
outside.
making them
That was
crazy.
Let me
outlet.
lock my booth. Let me lock my booth.
21 minutes after the
Oh,
hour.
God. Oh, my God. I take it back. Put that comment back. Put that comment back.
reading through the Mark Halpern piece.
Okay. What's he say?
He's
Okay.
upsetting her.
Oh.
Well, Carlos, we had noted pollster and the best-looking human in the world, Fernand Armandi, on yesterday. I mean, it's not, again, us putting our head in the sand. She's ahead in every national poll that's come out. She's ahead in every swing state poll that's come out. I'm not saying I necessarily trust the polls or they're huge margins, but Mark Halpern is a Republican, right? He's a Republican strategist. He warned robust private polling indicates Kamala Harris is in a lot of trouble. He said, if you're welcome to put your head in the sand about it. If you want to go watch MSNBC primetime and hear how great things are going for the Harris campaign, you're welcome to do it. But if you want to understand what's actually happening, we're here to tell you. I saw some new private polling. She's in a lot of trouble. What I'm telling you today is things are not moving right for her. I don't know, Carlos.
I disagree.
She's been up by 3.5 points or so, I think, in every national polls, including the aggregate of all of them. The latest one's out this morning. She's up by 5 or 6. So I don't know what he's talking
that
about.
Quote that he said, I saw some recent private polling. Okay, what private polling? Who's the source? Who did they poll?
Well,
not to mention that I think he's omitting the fact that there are a lot of Republicans that will not publicly say
Yes.
they are going to vote against Trump.
It's the opposite they're saying of 2016 when people were
Cue Mitt
embarrassed
Romney.
to say they were voting for Trump. Some people, women are scared. They're saying they're voting for Kamala. Even some men. I saw a thing yesterday where, men are leaving notes in men's rooms, advocating for Harris. And
I think you can't account for that. I think there's a lot of people flying under the radar. I was just reading this story on CNN about that consulting firm. Is it pronounced Doilette or Dolette?
yeah.
The one that published the secret correspondence with J.D. Vance that said Trump's economic policies failed. And so they're going after those media companies. It's already begun that Trump is going to just shut down any media that disagrees with him. The movie that they made about him, they don't want that to come out.
Yes, we'll talk about that next. I
Yeah.
was saving that story to talk to you about. But yeah, I mean, we know the Rasmussen story, that they're sharing polling with the Trump campaign before it's public, because I think in some places they're trying to deliberately skew things so Trump can go, see, it was stolen, it's rigged. 29 when he loses. More call. Kamala Harris. Oh, by the way,
What?
Julie from Seattle,
Oh.
keeper of the facts.
Okay.
I'd forgotten about Mark Halperin. Yes, she said, Steph, remember him? Got drummed off Morning Joe, lost his career over lurid and disgusting sexual harassment charges from no less than 12 women who worked for him, even though labels acknowledged his odiousness when they hired him in 2021. That's the thing, Carlos. I don't trust anybody right now, and I get it that we don't want to just listen to things that make us feel good, but I just feel like there are this story about Rasmussen, like I was saying, they're deliberately, and then when they throw those polls in the aggregate, of course it pulls Kamala Harris's numbers down because they're deliberately trying to beef up Trump's numbers,
Yeah, it's all part of the game. I think that by measure of what they're doing and how desperate they are, let's go back to Pennsylvania, the place where I was shot at, the staging of the rally there, that should get some more oomph. Okay, now let's just deny that FEMA is giving people health, that should get some more oomph. Let's falsify the polls, that should get some more. That's an indication of how much they are afraid of Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and you don't
should
know
we do
how
the
much
debate again? No debates.
And how much is self-interest? Is he trying to be relevant again? Because every other poll and everyone's saying Kamala's winning, he needs to go, oh, no, she's in a lot of trouble. So everybody freaks out. And he gets lots of clicks and
If he truly wanted to assuage any doubts that he is a leader, he would go on 60 Minutes and answer policy questions, answer questions about his past, answer about his concepts of a plan for the future. He would go and debate her again. So, of course, he has nothing of substance. They're getting desperate. So be ready for some super October plans times 1,000.
Yeah. And by the way, we were just saying that he obviously has, I don't know what, I'm not a doctor, dementia, whatever. Clearly, we've never seen a campaign like this. Won't debate, won't do an interview. He clearly, and you can watch almost any rally. He's mispronouncing words, he's slurring, he's making no sense. I mean, it's just...
He's like a doll that they take around. Okay, put me in the Arlington Cemetery. What do I pose with this? Thumbs up, smile, click. Okay, take me over to where the hostages are. Put a yarmulke on. What are they called? Harmonicas.
The October 7th
Put a harmonica on my head.
He's doing the thumbs up and the
give
smile.
me a picture. I'll give the thumbs up and we'll get the hell out of here. He's just a prop that they take around.
At a memorial, and he's like, "You want me to sign the book?" They're like, "No."
No, it's the Torah.
Oh yeah. By the way, how do you say Jesus loves you in Mandarin?
Yeah.
I want to know for Oklahoma students that the Bibles were made in China. Of course they were printed in China.
Okay, so this the Bob Woodward book, Now a Warning. Is it called Now a Warning?
It's called Now a Warning,
Okay.
and you're not
Now a warning?
Trump spokesman said Woodward had written a trash book that deserved to be used as toilet tissue. I don't hear that phrase very much anymore, toilet tissue.
Toilet tissue.
He said Woodward is a total sleazebag who's lost it mentally. Everything is going to be projection, I'm just warning you.
Absolutely.
He's slow, lethargic, incompetent, and overall a boring person with no personality. Oh my God, it's just every day. It's the name calling and I don't. Okay. This part. Can I just say I didn't think I could love Joe Biden more, but the fact that he refers to Trump as that hole.
Oh.
She almost said it.
Sorry. And also he called Netanyahu a liar. See, I just love Joe even more now. Apparently, he asked Netanyahu during a April phone call, "What's your strategy, man?" And Netanyahu said, "We have to go into Rafah." And Biden said, "Bibi, you've got no strategy." He's a liar. Biden privately said of Netanyahu after Israel went into Rafah. He said, "Bibi, what the?" Biden yelled at Netanyahu in July. I just like that he's a potty mouth. First of all, it just makes me love him.
Yeah. I can swear. I like to swear. Cussing.
He is literally Dark Brandon with zero left to give, and it's a thing of beauty.
Yep.
U.S. intelligence knew about Putin's plan to invade Ukraine months ahead of time. It was an astonishing intelligence coup from the crown jewels of U.S. intelligence, including a human source inside the Kremlin. Biden confronted Putin with the intelligence twice, one in a hot 50-minute phone call that became so heated. At one point, Putin raised the risk of nuclear war in a threatening way. Biden responded by reminding Putin it's impossible to win a nuclear war. And Kamala Harris warned Zelensky, who I guess didn't believe that it was gonna happen, but U.S. intelligence, and in one of these private phone calls, Trump encouraged him to do it, right? I mean, okay, I can't. There was a 50% chance that Russia would use nuclear weapons. U.S. intelligence developed a deeply unnerving assessment of Putin, who was now being seen as so desperate to win he could resort to deploying nukes. There was a 50% chance they thought Russia would use a tactical nuclear weapon. Like, could things be more serious? Could this be a worse time to put a Russian asset in the Oval Office again? Oh, my God. On all the channels, get on the line with the Russians. Biden instructed National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, tell them what we will do in response. Lloyd Austin said, if you did this, all the restraints that we've been operating under in Ukraine would be reconsidered. This would isolate Russia on a world stage to a degree you Russians cannot fully appreciate. The Russian guy said, I don't take kindly to being threatened. Austin said, Mr. Minister, I am leader of the most powerful military in the history of the world. I don't make threats. Wow. Go ahead.
No, at a time that the world could possibly band together and have some righteous thinking, everybody just wants to be an authoritarian and rule and be a nationalist and be a dictator. David Frum, I didn't get a chance to read the article, but the sub-headline was that this female president in Mexico is somewhat of an autocrat as well. And that these types of figures are becoming popular. Like, the world is crazy, I will fix it for you by aligning myself with other crazy dictators. And religion will take over, and there will be order. You will believe in God, and everything will be white and rosy.
Here's another one. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia has a burner phone just for Trump.
Yeah, name 45.
Yep.
I keep saying, girls, how much stuff do we not know yet? Are we going to find out? Mohammed bin Salman, during a visit to Saudi Arabia in March, Lindsey Graham apparently said to MBS, let's call Trump. Bin Salman had an aide go get hold please, bring a bag over with about 50 burner phones, pulling out one labeled Trump 45. I mean, speaking of Lindsey Graham, they all know who Trump is, and that's what makes it even more despicable. Yeah. He described Mar-a-Lago. He said going to Mar-a-Lago is a little bit like going to North Korea. Everybody stands up and claps every time Trump comes in. Trump is becoming more erratic. These court cases, I think they would rattle anybody. I mean, he knows what a completely unglued national and international security threat he is, and yet.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about that the other day with the papers, like discussing, look, I'm not supposed to show you this, but isn't it funny, these nuclear secrets in Iran?
How would he let Melania watch a top secret, raid, that she doesn't have clearance for? I mean, it's just like, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, again, we're normalizing how dangerous, how stupid, how evil, how corrupt, how sociopathic this guy is. We've normalized it. It's so dangerous. I can't believe that there are not more quote-unquote decent people that are going, you cannot vote for this guy.
Yeah.
Publicly. Comics, artists, musicians, painters, politicians. I don't understand the lack of, like, are you kidding me?
By the way, I love me some Barack Obama, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's one of the original Obama bots, but Biden's right about this too. Apparently, this is in the book as well.
Yeah, 2014.
Ahead of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Biden complained Obama didn't do enough to stop Putin in 2014 when he invaded Crimea.
Yeah.
Biden said they put up in 2014. That's why we're here. We did up. Barack never took Putin seriously. He should have said F Mitch McConnell and tell the world about the Russian interference in 2016. But he was
but I sort of think that was part of his hope and audacity of hope, right? That he was hoping that diplomacy would work, which is what the third-party liberal Jill Steineys would want, right? Oh, you need to show diplomacy. Well, we did, and it didn't work.
Biden said we did nothing. We gave Putin a license to continue. Well, I am revoking his license. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
He also, he took a call from George W. Bush, who called Biden after the withdrawal from Afghanistan and said, oh boy, I can understand what you're going through. I got by my intel people too. No, you didn't.
No, he didn't.
Oh my God. It's just this rewriting of history, right?
Yeah.
Dick Cheney deliberately twisted and misrepresented intelligence. He knew to, it's just this whole, I mean, I'm happy they're all endorsing Kamala Harris, but oh my God.
Yep.
Let's please not talk about Dick Cheney's sterling character.
Yeah, when the worst of us endorse the best of us, we'll take it. Sorry.
Yeah.
That tells you how bad Trump is, that somebody like Cheney and the Cheneys will leap on board like, all right, listen, we're evil, but we're not freaking crazy and stupid.
Sue in Rockville, you're on with Carlos. Hello, Sue.
Good morning, all.
Hi.
Let me help people. when you vote, it is not an Uber card that takes you door to door. What you're doing is getting on a bus that will bring you to your closest destination. I have been voting since 1972, and I have never let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I'm looking for the people who represent the closest to my values. In this case, my belief in American democracy, a belief in voting rights, women's rights, a vote. And so get on the damn big blue bus with us.
Yeah, you lazy bastards. If you got to walk a couple of blocks, so what? Sorry.
Exactly. It's not an Uber. It's not door to door. And these people who try to say, oh, she hasn't earned my vote.
Oh, please.
How do you think you are? You're just one voter.
Right.
We are together to make this country better. Yes. And Kamala was fantastic on Colbert, fantastic on Howard Stern, and I love the fact that she's rubbing these interviews in the faces of the Andrea Mitchells and like that, and the she's not tolerating it, and that's not she's going after the children and the younger generation. See her, they love her.
Yep.
And may I end with a question for everybody?
Yes.
I have a question. Do you know of one voter who voted for Joe Biden and will now vote for Donald Trump?
I don't.
No.
Ooh,
and
no.
yet you do. Exactly. That's the one thing you do see in the polling is Republicans that are going to vote for Kamala Harris.
Like Charlie in Alabama.
Charlie, right. In
Charlie, Alabama.
Alabama.
Thank you.
I still want to say Roll Tide. Can I say Roll Tide?
Yeah. Go ahead. Tracy in Arizona wants to support the sports with Carlos.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hey, we were watching yesterday, and my wife told me that Fernando Armandi looks like a younger, darker-haired, brown-eyed version of me. So I got that going for me.
Okay,
Wow.
well.
So anyway,
Yeah.
hey, last night, Kamala on Colbert, two points. This in-home care for Medicare is a biggie because I told you we're dealing with my dad's stuff in Colorado now, and that's going to be a thing possibly. So the other thing was that she mentioned Marcus Johnson. She didn't mention him by name, but that young kid that gave the entire country a civics lesson.
Yes.
That
And,
kid's
on
And the
night
powers of the vice
debate, and
presidency.
Vice
Right.
Yes, I've been screaming that from mountaintops ever since she got in the race. I said, Vance and Trump do not understand what the job of the vice president is. So, and one last thing for Carlos. Since Aaron Rodgers' life has been a living hell lately after getting sacked by the Broncos 5 times and then throwing 3 picks against the Vikings, doesn't he look like that guy Ned with the plaque psoriasis in that TV commercial?
Yeah. His skin is probably getting like that. There's something going on under my helmet. Give me some ayahuasca. Yeah. If you don't know, Aaron Rodgers is probably responsible for Robert Saleh getting fired, the ex-defensive coordinator for the 49ers. He's out after 4 seasons because Rodgers doesn't get along with him. The owner is trying to take the blame, saying, no, it was all me. But Rodgers is another one of these petty guys that if he doesn't get his way,
Anti-vaxxer,
like Trump,
lunatic.
he's going to destroy everything around him.
Okay, that's enough for the sports section.
Sports, it says, very
Understood.
symbolic and very indicative of what's going on in the society. We want, for example, the underdogs to win. The Mets are the underdogs. The Padres are the underdogs. The Kansas City Royals, the Tigers, they're all doing very well, just like Kamala Harris
All
in
right.
the polling. Don't believe that Republican.
Beth in Montana has a fun fact about Mark Halperin. Is any fact about him really fun,
Not
Beth?
really, no.
Okay, I was watching Morning Joe a couple of years ago, and Mark Halperin live on air.
Yes.
He called Barack Obama a dick.
Don't say the word. Oh, you said the word. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway.
Oh, Beth, you potty mouth. Okay.
Oh, you're going to have to buy the Trump Bible now.
Made from China.
That's what I was saying. He was caught on a live mic calling Barack Obama a D. Thank you, Beth. Okay.
Like
yeah,
Dick
so
Cheney?
that guy, I don't trust that guy.
Yeah.
I feel like he's trying to get back his relevance, and he's just like, oh, no, everybody's saying that Kamala's winning. No,
Absolutely,
she's
these
not.
guys are petty.
Dick
I think
Cheney?
Like Dick
I think
Cheney.
Elon Musk wants to get back at Biden for not inviting him to the forum on electric vehicles. I think it's all out of spite.
Yeah.
You didn't invite me? Okay, I'm going to vote for the other guy and jump up on stage for him. Even though I promised. Huh?
There was something in the Washington Post over the weekend about how Mark Zuckerberg is becoming like Elon Musk, like all
Yes.
broy and like taking MMA lessons.
Trump
and
is
like,
threatened to throw him in jail too. I'm like, wait, he
Right.
let Russia interfere on Facebook in 2016. What? Because he's not letting Russia interfere enough?
Yeah. It's like we're being held hostage by these tech bros.
Yeah.
And I'm
all
sick
these
of
tech
it.
pro- Bitcoin, Teal, the guy Teal,
Yes.
voted
Yeah.
against the own best interests of the LGBTQ community because he wants to be rich. Again, and I always reiterate this point, just because somebody has fame and fortune and money and are billionaires and have influence, it doesn't make them adults.
Right. Yeah.
Zuckerberg is a child.
Exactly.
Musk is a child. Trump is a
Zuckerberg,
child.
he
They're
looks
all
like-
screaming for the love they never got.
Right.
And they just want to
He
hit.
looks like Jared Kushner. He looks like a pollywog or a whatever. He's something that's not done yet. Like
Well-
the light bulb went out in your easy bake oven. It's kind of not.
He stole the idea from two other guys.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. All right. All right.
did.
you enjoy that FCC freight crane coming at us with Beth in Montana? I was like, oh no, don't say it.
Second
No.
day in a
I
row.
know what he called him, but don't. Oh no. Oh,
You
okay.
did it. Okay. Second day
Dick
in a row.
Cheney.
I tried to head it off. I was like, and he called Barack Obama. No. Don't.
He's a Dick Tracy.
No.
You can't stop a freight train, Stephanie.
I was like, no. Oh no.
He's a Dick Army.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's a tricky dick.
No, right. Let's just move on. 50 minutes after the hour, this portion of the...
Glenn is, I mean, I don't have to tell you this, but Glenn is like a gift to democracy. So
Yeah.
very grateful for him.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, to the point of this sound clip we just played from the president, you said the deluge of disinformation surrounding a hurricane response bodes really, really poorly for what we're about to contend with this November. Brian, I imagine for people like you that marinate in this is still shocking and exhausting just this weekend that not only did he continue to lie about the hurricane stuff, he basically issued threats. He said it's Democrats that are trying to assassinate me. If you're a Kamala Harris voter, you shouldn't identify yourself because you might get hurt. I mean, how much more out in front can he be about inciting violence?
And so this is what we see over and over, that the Overton window shifts, and what was outrageous one day, just by virtue of Donald Trump repeating it over and over, becomes more normalized. He knows that the media won't cover it as much because they're just used to it, right? They adapt to what he said, and so it becomes less sexy as a story, and they're just going to follow something else. And so this is really just a way of gaming the refs for him. And so he'll say this a few times until everybody kind of gets bored of covering it. But while they get bored of covering it, the reality is that all of his supporters are going to continue getting radicalized by it. And so he just continues planting these seeds over and over and over. He continues to radicalize his supporters. He gets the media off his back by virtue of saying it so much, because they're like, oh, well, he said it Monday and he said it Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and so we're not going to cover it 7 times. We're just going to move on to something else. And so really he gets to have his cake and eat it too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was saying earlier, Brian, he's just a cancer, and he has infected his whole party, half the country. You retweeted Representative Anna Paulina Luna, which is definitely short for lunatic. She said, I have people that died in my county, and FEMA gave funding to illegals. They just parrot whatever lies he says. And by the way, you retweeted, these Republicans voted against FEMA relief before Helene battered their states. Anna Paulina Luna is one of them. Right?
I mean, it's the sad truth is that while these people, clearly the people who are doing this are looking to just help themselves politically, there are Republicans out there who are content to say the truth about what's happening. Some of these governors of these states, people who are actually on the ground, and the reality is that a lot of the people out there who need help, who just get their information from the Donald Trumps of the world, the Anna Paulina Lunas of the world, are going to see that. They're going to see these Republicans saying, oh, well, all the money went to migrant housing, and so there's none left because that's what Matt Gaetz told me. That's what Donald Trump told me. So why bother applying? And so there are going to be people who need the money, who are just so susceptible to this type of disinformation being spewed by those on the right who are only looking to help themselves politically, and they're not going to get the help they need. And Republicans have to know that, right? These officials have to know that, but it's just so important for them to continue on this bit because they want to help themselves politically in the next election, that no matter who they're screwing over right now, the people who need the most help, the most vulnerable in our society, the people who are just coming off of being battered from a hurricane, those are going to be the real victims, even on top of the fact that they were victims from the hurricane. But still, that won't stop these Republican officials, because they will stop at nothing to just help themselves politically however they can.
But we're at a point, Brian, where it doesn't even matter if Republican officials like Brian Kemp and who's the Republican senator, we've had the Republican mayor.
Is it Thom Tillis?
Yeah, it doesn't even matter if they say no. Biden's doing a great job. We're getting everything we need. This has gone beyond cult. I mean, it doesn't even matter because they don't believe other Republicans even. They only believe Trump, right?
Well, this is the desperation that they're feeling now with 4 weeks to go until the election. They need something. They're trying to manufacture some October surprise to help them, because Donald Trump is now contending with this, almost 200-page filing from Jack Smith.
And I said nobody did because their assets were all frozen. And I got no love in here, Carlos.
Nah.
Von Seal in Asheville, where they're right. She said, I'm not exactly in the mood to laugh with it being day 13 of no electricity, but I thought that joke was spectacular. Thank you, Von Seal.
She's just kissing your ass.
She would be cranky.
I love the pun.
Thank you very much, Carlos. You brought this up earlier, and I wanted to mention this because it's a little inside show business, but you were talking about this film. It's called Separated. It's about Trump's horrible child separation policy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And MSNBC Films apparently is not going to air it till after the election.
It's ridiculous.
And this is even MSNBC. Let me just say why this hits a nail with me, because everyone said for years, Sexy Liberal is so great, it really should be a special or a series. And a friend of mine in the business said the same thing that's in this story. People are too scared to do anything political, especially if it's seen as one-sided. The Sexy Liberal tour is so successful because both sides don't do it. You know, and the child separation policy was horrible, but they're afraid, of course it makes Trump look bad. But
and even the story about him and is it Michael Cohen, his advisor? That movie too. They don't want to release it. They're afraid.
This is in this story. None of the big streamers, all of which have zero appetite for political projects, would bite after unsuccessfully finding a buyer. So MSNBC Films did it in the final hour, but even MSNBC won't air it before the election. Yeah. In Vanity Fair, Gabriel Sherman detailed his fight to find a distributor for The Apprentice, the film that casts a critical eye on Trump. He wrote he found the process of finding a distributor willing to release the film before November deeply dispiriting. Hollywood fashions itself a community of truth tellers, but here they are running from a movie to prepare for a Trump presidency.
They probably got a phone call. You release film, we kill you. Happy Halloween.
We love you, Carlos Alzraki. We'll see you tomorrow.